In 2013, we visited newsrooms across the Commonwealth, finding engaged publishers, editors, reporters, and sales teams. These visits evidence not only the vitality and innovation at these community news organizations, but also the passion and commitment that will drive the future of the industry.
No one covers communities like the local newspaper. Nobody has the editorial staff, no one has the reporting staff, no one has the perspective that a local newspaper has.
Our publisher, Ed Kruger, has always said, nothing has a simultaneous impact on a community like the daily newspaper. And that's still true.
When they're picking up a newspaper, chances are any given day they're going to know somebody in there, whether it's high school pictures or sporting events or obituaries. People have to read the paper to stay in tune with what's happening locally.
We think of ourselves at times, or other people do, as a niche publication. And our niche obviously is the lesbian gay community. Therefore, most of that news isn't covered by the dailies and or the weeklies in Philadelphia. So the old rule, local, 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 really applies to us, because if people want that story, news item, or that calendar event, they have to come to us.
We're America's oldest newspaper serving the African American community. We're 129 years old. And if you look at community-based newspapers, local newspapers, many of them continue to thrive and do quite well.
We're fiercely committed to covering this community like no one else can do. The New York Times and CNN, nobody can cover York County the way that this local newsroom can cover York County.
We place a lot of emphasis on being the watchdog of the community, making sure we're exposing wrongdoings and injustice. That has a real value for our community, and our readers know that and they appreciate that.
Pennsylvania's newspapers remain committed to their print publications and their print audience, having the strongest print readership in the country.
The print product, by and large, is still our best audience, our most profitable audience, and our key audience.
We still have print medium, and we're trying to find ways to adapt what we do in print to electronic. We're not trying to abandon print at all. So it does give us a little different perspective. Instead of just trying to replace ourselves with electronic, we're trying to find compatible avenues to follow.
We haven't seen anything on the web yet that can grab the local content like we do, like newspapers do. Look at all of the different platforms that have been out there, from AOL's localized efforts in the past few years, to MSN, to Yahoo. What localized coverage are you getting from them? And then the flip side of that is when they do want local coverage, they come to us.
I saw somewhere that roughly 75% of all the news that's on newspapers, that are on websites, comes from newspapers. I mean, somebody is going out there and producing this news.
Print is not dead. It's all in how you approach it. And the answer that we came up with over this past year was, don't go smaller, go bigger.
You do not make a news organization more profitable by cutting back. You make it more effective by growing it. I was telling you, we're hiring more reporters to do more reporting, make our paper bigger, more stories.
It's important to understand that a digital-first mindset does not mean print last. Print comes in at the right time in the process, and depending on when news breaks, you're either near or far from where you need to focus on print. But a house fire at 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't worry about print while you're covering that house fire. You worry about the community, you worry about the news that they need right now, and you cover the story and you share it, and then when it's time to roll the presses, you roll them.
You see the trains behind me, they used to make locomotives in Altoona, and I say to our people, we don't make locomotives here, but we're a manufacturing company. We manufacture audience. We're making more of it than we ever made before, and it's getting bigger every single day.
We have huge market penetration, which is great. So we know a lot of people already read the paper, but one of the things that we've been trying to do on the digital side is capture some of that extra market. The people that aren't necessarily reading the paper, but still want the news, they still want our product.
One of the things that we find in Erie is that we're reaching bigger audiences than ever before. In fact, we reach 91% of the adults in our region on a monthly basis, and we reach those readers through our print product, of course, but also through our mobile products and our digital products.
Technological innovations have created new ways for people to consume news, and newsrooms are embracing the developing multimedia tools to meet the increased demand for digital and mobile content.
Reporters are not just writers anymore. They're digital content generators, and that could mean a quick video, it could mean some photography, it could mean a video interview, it could mean a stand-up video where a couple of photographers are kind of helping each other.
One of the most exciting things about our video content on Go Erie is that it's allowed us to recapture breaking news.
The big thing that I've been doing is live video, which is a way that we're able to kind of beat everybody because we have something immediately. Nobody around here really is doing anything like that. Even the TV stations, you have to wait till 5 o'clock to get it.
We now have a setup where we can service we can create a lot of digital products for all of our properties. It's mobile apps, web video, social media, digital sites, tablet apps, verticals, digital magazine publishing. And so what we see is a huge opportunity for a newspaper company to out-television station a television station in the markets that we operate in. And that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish here.
Reporters, they now use this as kind of a base to operate from, but for the most part, they're out in the field. They're talking to their sources, they're on the street, they're getting to know their communities, they are not desk-bound, they are out reporting the news, and that's the most important thing that they could do.
Twitter and Facebook have been valuable resources for us in finding people to talk to on stories, especially in breaking news situations. We've been able to do some crowdsourcing in Pittsburgh and find people who are at the scene of a breaking news story.
I really like social media, and it just seems like a natural way to tell your story, and also to contribute and get readers to contribute with you on your story. They want to follow up. They still want to see, I was at this concert. Am I in any of those photos? What did that person say about it? Because you can go on Facebook an hour after the concert and people have already posted their many reviews.
With the use of tout that we have now, I think that was the best thing for us as on-scene reporters. It's so much easier for us out at a scene to tout something and then use that same video when we come back later to make a 2-minute video spot.
It's a whole different ballgame. It's very exciting for me. The way we can now reach readers in so many different ways from wherever we are. And I think that's really a dynamic time right now. And we're trying to turn everybody loose and say, go have fun and go do it.
Newspapers continue to maintain their level of commitment to covering and engaging with the local communities they serve.
It's a digital-first media philosophy to break down the walls between our communities and our newspapers. I always say the walls were never that thick in a town like this anyway. People could get to us when they wanted to find us. It started as a space where our community bloggers would meet. We would invite people here and have what we called a community media lab and teach people how to blog, invite people to start a blog. It's more of an inviting way to say we're all in this together, and we as a newspaper benefit from improving our community.
We put on a really large music award show, and it's well attended. We have over 1,000 people attend the Rock Erie Award Show. Songs from all of the award-winning bands throughout the evening, and it's just a terrific event. Allowed us to develop even deeper relationships with our audiences, and in some ways have allowed us to expand our audiences.
We needed to get out and help the public understand that the York Daily Record is serving more readers more often in more ways than ever before. We have been to Lions clubs, we've been to community fairs and festivals, really about the people going out and sharing a message.
Recent acquisitions of newspapers both in and outside of Pennsylvania make it clear that today's business and technology leaders recognize the value and opportunity that today's news media companies offer.
We are excited to bring together leaders in technology and the news media to talk about the future of the industry today, companies who have developed products and technologies to help us succeed today and in the future.
I think the one that is the most different from anybody is the incubator program. The Project Liberty, which started some 18 months ago, just to bring in new ideas, new technology, with the concept of being, how can you marry up an incubator and a technology company with great ideas with a media company that may or may not be able to use them in the future. And I think that has turned out to be really pretty exciting for us. And I think it establishes us as a little bit different of a media company. It's looking for the next best idea and taking a chance on it.
It's essentially a curated photo sharing service for sports, concert, and theater goers. So if you're going to go to a game or an event, you can check out the actual view from your seat as other fans have actually seen it.
Are they developing partnerships with the newspaper? Is there an opportunity for the two to do business together?
We have built a publisher solution from the ground up with publishers in mind. We are offering a full app solution.
We are trying to build one of the world's largest databases of travel patterns. That's what it's all about.
If you think the last 10 years was exciting, wait for the next 10 years.
Every month, 80% of adults use newspaper inserts to make purchasing decisions. In the past 30 days, 2/3 of all the digital media users have acted on digital ads.
It is no longer just putting an advertisement on a piece of paper and getting it to a lot of people. It is now about search, it's about email blast, it's about reaching audience that is not even on the platforms that we own. A way of completely reinventing the journalistic business model. So I am incredibly optimistic about where we are today and where we're going.
Northeast Pennsylvania is the #1 market in the country for printed newspaper readership.
We still deliver 82% of the market. Who can say that? We can say that. And so we share that with our advertisers. We also enjoy businesses that have been in this marketplace for a very long time. And they're on their 3rd, 4th, 5th generation.
The Harrisburg Patriot News and PennLive.com was recently named the 11th fastest growing newspaper in the country.
Our experiences now in this year are really about focusing on those digital solutions. We certainly haven't given up on print at all. Print advertising and getting a marketing message out there is still a really important thing for a lot of our customers to do. But digital is about trying to find specific audiences and targeting audiences and getting the right message to the right people.
Pittsburgh was recently named the best city in the country for newspaper and newspaper website readership.
So we're trying to really reach a broad audience. We're trying to reach them in a number of ways to promote not only the newspaper, which is our core product, but also our community newspapers from Pittsburgh into Greensburg and Kittanning and Monessen and Connellsville and McKeesport, and our smaller community newspapers, as well as our strong digital presence with TribLive.com that we can reach anyone and anywhere through those.
Our audience overall is larger than ever, and so we don't get caught up on the fact that our audience is in transition. We embrace that. We just look at the fact that they want to have their news delivered in different ways. They want to have their content and advertising delivered in different ways. And as we rise to meet that, our opportunities rise.
One of the things that the newspaper industry in Pennsylvania has going for it, and I think this is one of the single most important things, is that there are more family-owned newspapers in Pennsylvania than in any other state. And I think because of the family stewardship and people are invested in their communities and want to be involved, that I do think it leads to success of newspapers and contributes to the strength of local newspapers.
One of the things that I've been encouraged with personally is that we have a number of young people on our staff who have decided to make a commitment to the journalism profession. Some of the most talented people and passionate people that we've come across in the last decade. They see a future in. Now, if the young people that are coming into this business see a future in it, how can we, as the older leaders of this industry, not be excited about it?
Well, quite frankly, I think this is an exciting yet challenging time for newspapers. The only organization from a management and operational level that gathers content. We've been doing it quite well for a long time, and I expect we'll continue to be doing it for quite a bit longer.
The reality is nobody provides and creates local news and content like newspapers and their websites. So we continue to do that, and I think the future is bright for newspapers.
We understand that we're not waiting for somebody to come and deliver an answer to us. We're going to go out and reinvent ourselves again and again and again. The key thing is to keep talking to our community and find out where our community is at, and we go to them. We devise new products, we new services, we use new platforms, and we don't try to get the community to come back to where we used to be. We go to where the community's at.
I'm really excited about the times that we live in now as a journalist, because there's so many tools and so many options to do so many different things. Now, it's important to understand that these don't replace good reporters, and these don't replace people who understand what the issues are in the community.
I think this is really the most exciting moment in a generation to do what I do, to run a newsroom, to run a newspaper, to run a news media organization.
I think there's going to be very successful newspapers going forward in the future. Changed newspapers, but very successful newspapers.
Basic tenets still exist, and a lot of the same value sets still exist. You know, we want to do things the right way, ethically. We want to be complete and accurate, and really produce news that changes communities and lives. But how we do it has changed in an enormous way. And you know, anybody who doesn't recognize that is where we're headed, hasn't been paying attention. And you have to want it, and you have to welcome it, and then that's the only way it happens for you. And these guys get it, which is pretty cool.
Well, I don't think news ever grows old. By definition, news is something that's new. And as long as the sun rises in the east and stays above here in Pittsburgh long enough to provide light for people to read the Post-Gazette, there'll be interest in reading a newspaper or its functional equivalent. I don't think news ever is going out of fashion, just as I don't think a lot of other human impulses are going out of fashion either. And there's still going to be love, and there's still going to be hate, and there's still going to be greed, and there's still going to be lust, and there's still going to be the stealers, and we're here to provide everything we can learn about greed and lust and love and the stealers, and above all, the stealers.
Warren Buffett's papers. I mean, if you read the stuff he says, he knows what he's talking about. You know, a local paper that covers its community well can't fail.